probably thinking, how could there be more? I know it's a lot to take in, but follow me to part 4, and before the end, I promise, you were told the Civil War was composed of 2 armies fighting. Continuing on with our expose of the Civil War, let this book act as a rebuke to my radical opinion that just inflames people to the point where your conversations typically go like this. You know, I feel like there's a general lack of photographic evidence regarding the Civil War and combat. It seems like a lot of it was maybe even contrived or fake. What? Nah, bro, you took it too far. Fuck you. Okay. And then usually they hurl the contents of their glass of lemonade into my neck, take their little napkin bib off, and they throw it down on the table and they storm off, and then I have to foot the bill. I mean, none of that's happened, but I'm just saying it probably would. This is volume 3, and again, the mission statement for this is, do the captions match what we're seeing on the photographs? Which is supposed to be the definitive source, the irrefutable evidence we're told in the preface, remember? This is the most photographed conflict of all time. Thousands of images. Brave Mr. Brady. Or is this just the work of about 20 pranksters and a couple wagons? And a land that was already decimated. Thousands of scenes photographed with text by many special authorities. You know what that means. Usually when they unnamed sources or authorities. Usually just another way to say bullshit. But we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm sorry, this is volume 2. We're only on volume 2. Yeesh. For a book of photography, there sure is a lot of words. The battle in the wilderness. This is wreckage of trees and men as they fell in the dense forest, victims of the month's advance that cost 40,000 Union dead and wounded. Wow, 40,000. That's a lot. And, you have, what is this, like, the set to Pirates of the Caribbean? A skull with a sword through it? And, like, I guess maybe another body here, maybe? These guys didn't die in the Civil War. Unless they let them completely decompose? Yeah, right. Dead men tell no tale. It looks like a friggin' movie prop. How are you today, sir? You and your light eyes. This photograph shows the gleaming bayonets leading the winding wagons. The federal military arms stretching forth to begin the continuous hammering. The army was one body, and here they are in legion. What now? I mean, I see that the print quality is pretty crappy, but... And it could be a painting, but it's only like 10 people. We're starting already with this, huh? The pontoons. Troops set in motion. And now here's some movement. All right, we got some wagons here. You know, this is looking more like something. Lee's men. It seems like their faces are kind of intentionally blurred out, huh? I mean, that just could be crappy. Like the way this guy's rocking his hat. But really, they kind of look like they're disguised. And this is, of course, the same freaking guy we've seen in every picture. The faces of the veterans in this photograph reflect more forcibly than volumes of historical essays. Really, a little bit blurry to communicate much, but whatever. Maybe it's just the printing. So these faces reflect perfect confidence. Yes, they do. Perfect confidence. Here we got more for Confederate soldiers in Virginia. Though prisoners when this was taken, though their arms have been taken from them, their uniforms are anything but uniform. Ragged veterans standing and sitting with the dignity of accomplishment. It's really hard to tell with these prints because I think the original photography is a lot better. This is just a crappy publication. Well, can we get something that's not a posed photo? Please. Okay, so this is Meade's headquarters. Some nice looking houses back there. And, you know, a tent or two. On the way to the front. Oh, good, we're getting there. The Belle Plaine where the wagon trains started. Okay. Say each guy had a satchel, some ammo, a rifle, some stuff to write letters with, some bedding, maybe, stuff for torches. Some food. Let's be generous and say each wagon can hold enough stuff for 20 dudes. Which is probably generous. I mean, you maybe got enough wagons for like 200. Now, it says it's just the start of it. The Union forces at this time crossing the battlefield were 118,000 men. I would really like to see a photograph of this. Camp is broken. Here are the stalls built for the horses and the stockade for the prisoners. The brick fireplace that had lent its cheer to the canvas house is evidence of the comforts of an army settled down for winter. Oh, I see. They're implying that this was built and surrounded by canvas just for the winter because they were going to be there for a while. Maybe? I'm going to say that's highly unlikely. Especially considering the amount of rubble back here and like stone over here. This is probably just what's left of a house. Looks way too weathered to be just built for the winter. Cool story though, bro. The grand campaign underway the day before the march. This is the 9th Corps. They're saying a reserve of 20,000 men were left behind. This is the rear guard crossing. Ain't no 20,000 men. I mean, God, maybe if they're spread out, but why is this? I mean, this photographer sucks. If this is his idea of really getting the essence of the battlefield. Because this could just be like some people just traveling through the land. Here's a couple of nondescript dudes hanging out in the swamp. You know, listen to the way it describes this land, though. Deserted barns and houses, reached by unused and overgrown farm roads. I mean, despite his best efforts, he's painting a very different kind of story. Talking about a battle raging for 4 hours, a photograph of Confederate breastworks that were raised a few months before. In this picture, we see some of the customary breastworks with both contending armies threw up to strengthen their positions. These were in a field near the turnpike in front of the main line. But why doesn't this guy ever taking pictures of any combat? Especially when you hear shit like this. The battle was chiefly one of musketry. Volley upon volley was poured out unceasingly. Screaming bullets mingled with terrific yells in the dense woods. The noise became deafening, and the wounded and dying lying on the ground among the trees made a scene of indescribable horror. Living men rushed to the places of those who had fallen. The missiles cut branches from the trees and sapped bloody remnants of uniforms. Blue and gray hung as weird and uncanny decorations from the remaining branches. Bloody remnants of uniforms. And you get up that accompanied that amazing caption with just this nitwit leaning on a bridge that looks 1,000 years old. You see what I'm saying? Now, is this one book proof of anything? No, but it sure did make some ridiculous claims. This is the definitive volume. Irrefutable. Thousands of photographs. I mean, we're on page 44. What have we seen in the way of combat? Or war in general? Nothing. Not even a weapon. But this guy's obviously there. Or he's just sitting at home writing it. I mean, the specific, here's General Lee, astride his favorite battle horse, his face set in lines of determination, his voice calm and soft as he commanded, follow me, and then urged his charger toward the bristling front of the Federal lines. The Confederate ranks were electrified. A ragged veteran leaped forward and caught the bridle rein of the horse. We won't go until you go back, cried the devoted warrior. Lee to the rear! Lee to the rear! The ranks resounded with the cry, and the great general went back to safety while his soldiers again took up the gauge of battle and plunged into the smoke and death-laden storm. But Lee, by his personal presence, had restored order, and these trees that were in the track of the iron storm. The artillery was wreaking its impotent fury upon the defenseless trees. Men were tripping and falling in the underbrush, bleeding from the briars. The cold steel of the bayonet finished the work with the rifles to begin, and in the terrible turmoil of death, the hope both doomed disappointment. Behold the battlefield, looking as if no one had been there ever. There's not a broken branch, there's nothing. Nothing. Just a thicket. This is ridiculous. Half their number left on the field. When they say like 20,000? Oh, the graveyard of 3 campaigns. The dead being brought to unhappy Fredericksburg, where slept thousands that had fought. Now, once more, the sad cavalcade has arrived, freighted still more heavily. The half-ruined homes had become temporary hospitals. Why are they half ruined? Aren't they fighting in the forest? As a battle, it was a slaughter. Grant turned his face in anguish away from the passing trains of dead and wounded and learned a bitter lesson. Yes, the trains of bitter dead and wounded. These 4 dudes lying in blankets and the 1 or 2 coffins. I mean, this one at least looks naked, which I actually, come to think of it, I don't know why he'd be naked. Thus ended the 2 days fighting of the battle in the wilderness, the greatest struggles in history. Thank God we had a camera. 10 hours of fighting, 17,000 and 12,000 casualties. Wow, great job, Mr. Photographer. Somehow showing us things. No smoke, no cannons, no fighting, nothing. How has no one noticed this in the past? This is supposed to be the photographical history of Civil War. Instead, it's just a guy blowing smoke up your ass with a few random people. One dude here in this photograph pumping water. 3 days of explaining what's happening in the pictures. Marches and headquarters. The great generals. The same 10 fucking guys. The caption says, the apex of the battlefield. These photographs were taken shortly after the struggle, and they show the old dwelling as it was, when the fighting was at flood tide all around it. Confederate entrenchments near that blood-drenched spot. What blood-drenched spot? There's like 3 people in a field. 20 cannon they managed to gain. 30 standards, 30 flags, 4,000 prisoners. Where? 2 Confederate entrenchments near the bloody angle. 2 guys hanging out near some... I mean, this is just so ridiculous. I don't see how anyone can say that this book is fulfilling its claims at all. It's just casting more suspicion. No wonder they throw their lemonade at me. Here we go. A few tents, some wagons with a bunch of shit just fucking dumped everywhere. What is that? Wagon wheel missing spokes. Like this, it looks like it's been ravaged by some storm. Couple guys. Maybe some clothing made to look like a person. But no, this is the artillery massing for the advance. Massing. The artillery massing in the meadow gives us this view. Oh yeah. Are you talking about these cattle out here? More and more pages of writing about 1,200 prisoners, 1,000 men dying, 4,000, the ones who never came back. Now here are allegedly the dead. There are approximately 7 men lying in a row. Well, he's doing a good job of selling it. This guy, not so much. There's no blood. Maybe if they are dead. They don't look like they've been killed in war. Just one of Ewell's men. Now, this guy at least looks legitimately like he's dead. I mean, maybe. There's a gun by him, at least. So out of the hundreds of thousands, evidently this little squad have discovered that this man is an officer. Instead of putting down a defense corner, they found the dead Confederate. Twice wounded before his spirit left him was this gallant fellow with a shattered leg. He bled to death from the wound on his shoulder. Just one of Ewell's men. Merely a number. Yeah, the number 1, as in the first dead one. Oh, here we go again with another lead to the rear. Yeah, we've heard this story. Many vivid and picturesque descriptions of this fighting at the angle have been written, but no printed page, no cold type could convey to the mind the realities of the terrible conflict. Oh, good, because you have a camera, so, you could just show us what's up. The dead lay beneath the feet of the living 3 and 4 layers deep. The earth was devastated and covered with the slain, weltering in their own blood, mangled and shattered into scarcely a semblance of human form. Dying men crushed by horses, many buried beneath the mud, still lived. The artillery, incessant fire, was poured into the Confederate works. Repeatedly the trenches had to be cleared of the dead. An oak tree 22 inches in diameter was cut down by musket balls. Awful in duration and intensity in modern times. Battle line after battle line was annihilated. The entrenchments were shivered and shattered. As they fought with the desperation of madmen, the living would stand on the bodies of the dead to reach over the breastworks with their weapons of slaughter. Until 3 o'clock the next morning, the slaughter continued. Wow. And one dead guy. One dead guy. I thought there were 3 or 4 deep. I thought there were horses in the mud. Here's some horses at a church. Just chilling, 4 of them. A couple guys sitting around the grass. They don't look like what this guy's describing is pure hell. And on again, after those shit pictures. Battle to the death. Shocking scenes. Piles of dead lying all around. 4 layers deep. Shattered and torn by bullets and hooves and clubbed muskets. The quivering limbs of those who lived. The total loss was 18,000. That's just one army. And they're saying the other army lost 15,000. Where? A couple guys camping out over here with a couple shots. 12 days of effort. 2,000 more dead. Walk your horses. Here we go. Same 9 fucking guys on a bridge. What am I missing? The undisputed crossing. There ain't nobody on that damn bridge. There's 2 guys. A settlement that looks like it's been flooded out and ruined years ago. A couple guys doing laundry down here. I mean, what is this? How have people not picked up on this? If I bought this book back in the day, expecting to see the photographical history of the Civil War in 10 volumes, and I saw this, more like 10 guys, I don't even think I need to go through all 10 books. What is the point if it's all like this? Ready for the advance. Get ready, you two. Like, there's more drawings of cannons and these little illustrations. Listen to the captions. That's what you're actually seeing. You just don't know it because you don't understand. This is where 10,000 fell. Not a single person. Federal camp at Cold Harbor after the battle. I don't see a single fucking... The forces at last join hands. This one guy in the front yard as 2 people look on from the doorway. That's not what you're seeing. You are not seeing a little farmstead with a guy in the front yard just chilling. Nope. What you're seeing is the indescribable horror of war. The groans and the moaning of the wounded are heartbreaking. Certain death. The ground literally covered with the dead and dying. The loss in this battle and the ones that preceded were 17,000. Back to the old base, quickly. On this bunch of boats that are smashed together. What the fuck is this? This is like some event of catastrophic proportions has just wiped out the majority of the South. There weren't no General Sherman. The impregnable bluff. The masked battery. Oh, it's hidden. I see. Invisible cannons. Yes. This is where Butler's troops crossed the Broadway landing. Where are the troops? Now looks like a church in the river. Look at this. This structure. All the dirt pulled away from it. They're just uncovering this stuff, dude. They're just discovering what's here in the South. They made all this up. This is amazing. I mean, I came into this obviously with like, meh. It's like they faked some of this stuff, but I had no idea how bad the actual historical record is. I mean, sure, they weave a good tale. Dead and dying and burning this and that and strategies and lead to the rear. But again, photographs are, I feel like a broken record. There's like 6
fucking guys down here. Oh, we're just up on the balcony, dude. If I can have a party. Cheryl, get up here. It's your turn. I'm on guard duty, bro. Oh, Brady, you're such a great photographer. As you begin the first plank movement, you're gonna go take a picture of 4 tents. I mean, is it possible that somebody time traveled and went back and like messed up the timelines? There's some sort of natural event that happened before the Civil War could, and now the books just don't reflect it. I know this sounds preposterous, and I don't actually believe that happened, but it's just, how has no one ever picked up on this? It's like the world is slowly unraveling. Like the spell's finally just coming undone. People are starting to notice stuff that's been around forever. Notice stuff like little ruins, or little bits of little information, or little stories that don't make sense, and everyone's starting to wonder because something is wearing off. Something is working at this from another end, I feel. And if that's a very esoteric direction for this commentary, then, well, we'll just forget that I ever said anything. We'll just go on this tunnel and just... I mean, I don't even know what else I can even say about this. These books are fraudulent. Yeah, this is a joke. I'm gonna go ahead and stop in volume 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, the same 9 guys. Now they're in this jail with no one. Yeah, heck yeah, dude. Now we're going across the boat in our little pontoon here, dude. With our 1 cannon ammo, or 1. Yeah, how about that? Where Hood hit hard. Hit so hard, flooded the whole place. Because those houses look like they've been lived in 100 years. No. This house... Sharpshooting did this? Sharpshooting in a house. That's a good one. Oh, here's the cannon. Oh no, dude. It broke. Don't worry. We got all these train wheels for some reason. By the hundreds. Who knows what we're doing with them? Nothing, apparently. Here's a ladder coming out of the ground. What the hell happened? Oh, the Capitol in wartime. Oh, yes, of course. Throw up a few little pieces of wood and act as if you're constructing it. Sure. Those are cranes. Yeah, good. Nice try. Here we are, we're back with this cannon that's got lead balls that are so fucking big, not a single human being could ever load this damn thing. Yeah, if I come back to this subject matter, I'm gonna use a different reference if there is any. There's gotta be some better ones, but I don't know. In other news,
I know you found that to be riveting. I know, it's a hard pill to swallow. But now you're on your journey towards the truth. Wherever that leads, just know I'll be with you every step of the way. Until I change my mind randomly after witnessing one thing firsthand. Controlled opposition or buckled under the pressure. Either way, follow me now to part 5 and find out how to lose all internet respect in the shortest amount of time possible.